Hello, this is Mr. Ryder, and welcome to another episode of CoasterFaQs Reviews, a series where we look at roller coasters, rides, and attractions. Now, for this episode, we're continuing on our looking at Giga coasters. But this episode, let's go start the Intimidator 305. Now, this is another roller coaster I've actually have had the advantage of getting on at the making of this video, and I must say this thing is insane. There's such fast transit. There's a lot of really quick transitions on it. It is cool. It's definitely something that just blows your mind. It's a decent sized coaster too. It's 305 foot tall, where that's hence in the name, Intimidator 305. It has a 300 foot drop, has 5,100 feet of track, so it's not really a mile, but it's pretty close. It has the top speed of 90 miles an hour. But again, it doesn't really have that big of stats compared to most other Gigas. But it definitely does where it really shines in its transitions. Now on that note, let's get into the video. The video is from Theme Park Review, and on that note, here we go. Right up the climbing hill, down the big drop. Okay, that's Intimidator 305 hit, and like I said, those transitions, a lot of transitions, you're just whipping through them. As soon as you go through those transitions, you're thinking, you're just basically stunned on what just happened. But before you know it, you're being whipped in another rapid transition. So it pulls some pretty serious laterals. Even if those transitions are basically hard lane turns, they still put on some serious G's on you. The only issue again is those trims, because you basically just slow down a lot and you lose a lot of momentum. As well as the other issue is that those trim is the final brake run. It doesn't start slowing you down until the whole train's on there, and once it is, boom, you stop almost instantly. Those are the only two big issues. Again, if I had to say what is, of all the turns, if I had to say what the most intense one is, it's definitely that first turn, that first three-quarter helix into the big airtime hill. That thing is insane. In fact, when I went on it, I grayed out so many times. The 3 times I rode it, twice I grayed out on it. It is again, it's just intense. The best thing you can do is with that first turn is just really prepare to prevent from graying out. Just really prepare yourself for it. Just knowing that it's going to be intense, and just basically doing the right things to keep yourself from graying out, and or just clenching up a little bit and just keeping yourself sturdy. It'll help you. It'll help prevent you from graying out a little bit. But if you're loose, you're gonna gray out like that. If you don't take the right precautions, you're gonna gray out pretty quickly. And you're not gonna pass out. I mean, unless you're like severely dehydrated. That's the only thing I can think of. How you could pass out on that turn, but still, it's really intense. So, and fair warning for that. The other thing is to make sure that if you're ever on this coaster, is to make sure that it's basically be ready for those transitions. And if I had to say where your best. Now this one is just like Millennium Force. It does not matter where you sit. It's a good coaster. I rode it in the front, the middle, and managed to get it on the back. Not all the way in the back, but halfway between the middle and the back. I was on one ride. It's pretty good wherever you are. But I mean, it's gotta be a good coaster. I would recommend it if you ever go to King's Dominion. And it's definitely a coaster that is a must ride. There, from what I can tell, with the loss of Volcano, the two big ones that are the must rides is the Intimidator 305, and along with that, I just had a side note, is the Dominator, the biggest floorless coaster in the world. Again, this is actually. I mean, this thing is pretty fun. It's one of my favorite roller coasters at King's Dominion, and it's still one of my favorite roller coasters I've been on. Period. It's awesome. I definitely recommend this one. It's a fun roller coaster, and on that note, this is the Mystic Rider, and I'll see you next time.